Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Growth Switch with me, Cyril. This being our latest episode. We've got insights for you as you walk through your journey, practical insights that is, which you can look to implement, a number of issues that you may be facing on your journey. If you want to go through our catalog of videos to know what we've covered so far, you can go to cyrilmadiba.com, go to the Growth Switch tab, and you will find all the videos there. Alternatively, you can go to YouTube directly, go to our channel, The Growth Switch with Cyril, and you'll find the videos there as well for you to enjoy and to learn from. In this episode, we'll be speaking about, the topic of reinventing yourself, and some processes, some techniques that one could look to implement as part of the process of reinventing yourself, right? Firstly, let's speak about reinventing yourself and what that means, right? Because someone might be like, "So, what are you talking about here?" So, when we walk through our own journey, there comes a time when either we need to, go through a different path, or we need to, go through a level of growth, for us to reach a certain level that we want to reach. For example, you could be a student going through your studies. When you start working, but then let's say you want to achieve, the level of being in senior management in an organization, and that will require you as part of the journey to be able to reinvent yourself in a way, so that you're able to get there, right? So that's what we speak about in terms of reinventing yourself. Some cases, reinventing yourself can be extreme as, just changing careers, right? Or changing what it is that you do for a living. There's some, for example, people in the entertainment industry who may go from being in entertainment to being a business person, and then go into the business world, right? And they need to reinvent themselves, right? They can't pitch up there as the same person who is on stage, right? They need to pitch up there as the businessman or the businesswoman. So then they need to reinvent themselves. So in this video, let's just get right into it and speak to a few steps or techniques that you can look to implement as you, start the process of reinventing yourself. First and foremost, what's important is for you to understand the vision that you have for yourself in this new reinvented space. I would call it persona, but it sounds like you're acting. But you know what, you bring yourself, you're just transitioning to a new space. So what does this look like? What do you want to achieve? I just made an example now of this, singer or rapper or whatever it is that wants to transition to get more into the business world of things and be taken seriously in the business world of things, right? Now, that process takes a lot of introspection, and for you to understand what are your passions, what are you good at, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. Those are some of the inputs that go in there for you to be able to decide that, hey, this is actually where I want to go. To take some research as well in terms of some of the items you've got on your short list. What does it mean to be in business? What it means to run a business? What are the advantages, disadvantages? What are some of the benefits? What are some of the issues? What are the opportunities? What are the threats for you in that space? Really, really important insights that you need to look into as part of this step, so that you make an informed view of where you want to take your life. And then number two is, just as you do that process, number two, in another technique is to assess whether, all right, so I'm here now, I'm a music artist. Let's say I am the music artist, and I want to go into the world of business. I want to start my own thing. I want to, be taken seriously there. Obviously, this is something outside of music, I now need to figure out, do I have the skills and the knowledge and expertise to be able to transition into that space? And if the answer is no, then that means you need that kind of expertise and skills. Now, that expertise and skills can come in a formalized way, like for example, going to school. You can do a business studies course, entrepreneurship course. You can do a business administration course or anything like that. Or it can be not so formal, where you maybe get a mentor, someone who's already in business and can be able to show you the ropes, to say, okay, try doing X, Y, Z, based on your experience, based on what you're trying to do. I would say maybe look at 1, 2, 3, things like that. So it's someone who has walked this path that you're trying to walk, and they're already in business, and they may be able to help you. Then after that, right, it's about deciding, all right, so if the vision is now I'm an artist and I want to be taken seriously as a business person, what is it that I need to start doing for me to get there, right? Now that can be informed also by step 2, where you have that mentor or that person who is going to give you like a few tips, right? For example, I've got a few people that I chat to whenever I've got an idea about where I'm trying to take my life next, and I chat to a number of people who have already walked the path or are on the path, and they are able to like say, okay, right, Cyril, have you thought of X, Y, Z? Have you thought of this? Some of the things that I've already thought of, I share, and they are like, okay, you're on a good path, stick with that. And that's that, and what you have thought of your vision and your research helps to build the goals that you need to hit. Think of the goals, actually think of your vision as the top of the step ladder, and your goals as the steps, each of the steps leading up that are going to get there, that are going to help you get there rather. So then once you've done that, then the biggest part is the execution, right? So you can dream all of this up, you can meet people who are already in business, they motivate you, get out, they're pumped. One day you sit at home and you think about your goals and you write them down and they're looking great and things like that, but then you don't follow through with action. So then nothing happens, right? Then you basically, an artist and stuff. And sometimes, being an artist, that's the fame and the fortune and, and the popularity of your music doesn't last forever, right? So there lies the risk. So it's important to follow through. Execution. What are the goals? When are you meant to achieve them? Make sure that you are achieving them, right? So that you've got progress towards your vision. Then the last thing I would mention is to continuously measure your progress. So what I do is on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, look at my goals. This is what I said I want to achieve this year. How's it going? Am I on track? Have I achieved it? If I'm at risk, why am I at risk? So that I can be able to put in correction measures. That end of the year when I sit and look at these goals, I'm not like, I was meant to do that in May, and it's not done by December. Whereas if you sit in March and you look at it and you're like, I'm meant to do this in May, then it jogs you remember, okay, I need to do this in May. Then you pull yourself to account, and by the end of the year, having ticked off all your goals, you have progressed so many steps from where you were at the beginning of the year, right? And that's whole concoction, the steps, these techniques, that helps you to then reinvent yourself. If you're this artist, I'm referring to it as an example, then, with time you then transition to being a businessman, and you don't perform so much anymore. Now you're more in the business world, you run your own businesses, you're self-sufficient and things like that. You're taking seriously, sometimes you get even called to deliver like keynote address, in some events, because you're taking that serious and you've reinvented yourself so much. In fact, when people think about you now, they probably think of you as a businessman, and not that they've forgotten that you're an artist, but what springs to mind first is that you're in business. You're a businessman or a businesswoman, and that speaks to reinventing yourself. Hoping this is useful for you, and if you found it useful, you can share it with others who stand to gain. You can follow us on our socials. We share other info between these videos, and we look forward to see how you reinvent yourself post this video.